TNA Wrestling crossed the line again with Sacrifice and an ending that really nobody saw coming. And what an ending it was. We'll get into that and more as we go through Sacrifice. It was available on the TNA Plus app. Get it downloaded, get subscribed. You are going to get a big discount if you get the championship version, I think it is. We tweeted it out the other day. They're doing a big discount on the championship version, which means you get Impact pay-per-views, the Vault, everything. So go along line, get that sorted. And because you're missing out on some great action from TNA Wrestling. Now, quickly, we'll just talk about the road to Sacrifice pre-show match, which was first class. AJ Francis, Casey Navarro against Laredo Kid and Octagon, which was won by first class. Although there was a part of this match where Casey Navarro faked a knee injury during this match, and he did, you know, as the heels normally do when they fake a knee injury. The referee tends to them, and they're pushing everyone away, and then all of a sudden, bam, he comes in and hits him. But no, a good win for first class. I'm interested to see where they go next from here. I mean, it wasn't like a match that was built up over time. It was, a simple match just to get the crowd going ahead of Sacrifice's pay-per-view. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do with First Class coming up. I feel as if they need to be pushed up a bit further now. We need to see them. And we know that AJ Francis took on Nick Nemeth for the heavyweight championship at the back end of the year last year. But we just need. I need to see them with a purpose now. They do the penthouse and whatnot and stuff like that, but I just want to see a bit more from them now as we enter into, well, you say the second, well, not quite the second half of the year, but the second quarter, shall we say, of 2025. But a good match, nevertheless, bit of fun, good bit of fun to start the match off. Now, after that, they've done a lot of backstage interviews. Tessa Blanchard was being interviewed, and Ryan Nemeth come out and said his brother returns to TNA tonight, which of course he does in the main event. There was a little bit about the system and the colons hyping up the cage match, which we didn't get a chance to review on Friday, the TNA show. So apologies, but just for the information, the system and the colons got advantage because Leon Slater lost his match on Impact, so the Hills got the advantage on that one. So don't worry, but we'll get into that a bit later. Now, what ended, it was quite. This is what I like about TNA, right? They ended the pre-show with a brawl between Mence Warner and Sammy Callahan. They were brawling. They fighted into the arena. And that's how the pay-per-view began, which was great because if you're like, I'm in an R in whether to buy a pay-per-view, right here, they start brawling to end it into the ring, and you're like, damn, I want to see it now. I mean, if you were on the fence or, but man, they started this pay-per-view with these two guys. They absolutely obliterated each other. It had trash cans, chairs, tables. God, my staple. There was a bit where Sammy Callahan staple gunned Mence Warner to the ring post, the ring the turnbuckle. He was hitting the turnbuckle, no pun intended. But he staple gunned him to the turnbuckle. Oh my God, it was just absolutely crazy from both of these two guys. I mean, it was it was just a wild start to the show, which is exactly what you wanted. The ending of this saw Steph DeLanda get involved. She threw powder into Callahan's eyes, and Warner hits the running knee for the victory on this. I just wonder if like they didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was crazy, it was wild. It wasn't like ultra violent, which perhaps people were expecting between these two because we know Mence Warner comes from GCW and what he does over there, and we know Sammy Callahan's a mad bastard. So it's just kind of like I can see why some people are like, oh, it wasn't really as violent as I expected, but it was kind of their first match in what I can potentially see as a bit more going on. I think this is going to end up maybe Monsters Ball or something along those lines. I don't think it's the last we've seen of it. And funnily enough, Sammy Callahan did tweet ahead of the Impact tapings tonight that sorry, last night, that if he turns up, if Mensah Warner turns up to the building, they're going to have another fight. So I would imagine that that one is far, far, far from over. Um, so I think people that were complaining, I think just give it time. You know, some things you don't need it to go straight into. If people wanted like ultra, not like a death match style match, but if you wanted that, I think that may be coming later. So just yeah, I still thought it was chaos, a wild way to start the pay-per-view, which was great for me. But yeah, I think just give it some time. I think those two are far from finished, and I can't wait to see what's next between these two because it wasn't. It was kind of like I enjoyed it. I expected to enjoy it, but there was just something that made me want more from it, which is a good thing, right? Because it means they've done their job. And Mence Warner picks up the victory in this match. Following that, it's now time for Tessa Blanchard and Leia Ling Yi. Now it's Leia, so what I've been hearing now. So that's a bit more easier. Well, still a little bit difficult to pronounce, but a bit more easier than Norse time. Blanchard got a live music performance, and people were. I've seen people online like I don't know if it's because of what Tessa done in her past and all of that sort of stuff, but I don't get why people were crapping on it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the performance. Regardless of what's happened in Tessa's past and everything that she's done, and I get it. I get it. People are going to always be annoyed. It's fine. You've got a right to be. The one thing that I will say about Tessa Blanchard is when she gets in those ropes, she's a star. And there's no denying that. And I feel as if people want her to foul for that reason. And any little reason they get just to try and crap on her, they're going to do it. And that's not the way to do it. Tessa's a star in that ring. And like, yeah, okay, look, you don't have to like her. I'm not saying cheer for her. I'm not saying do anything like that. The El Paso, Texas crowd was great, by the way. It was fantastic. Chavo Guerrero was at the television tapings that I took on last night. So can't wait to review what happens on those. But going back to Tessa, like, I get it. And I get the hate. I really, really do. But to kind of like just crap on everything that she does, it's just like, it's like, hold on a minute, take a chill pill, right? Yes, she's done it. Yes, and I know. Has she apologized? I don't know. And despite people's feelings, I review what I see in the ring. I don't. Personal stuff is not important. That stuff's just it's happened. What I review is what goes on during the show. And I tell you what, these two put on a classic match. Great knockouts division match. There's two real top contenders in the knockouts division. We know that Tessa Blanchard wants that knockouts championship. She said that in her promo before she on the pre-show. She mentioned that she really wants to be the knockouts champion. And you know, Leia Ling Yi was brilliant. She's showing you what I don't know, what WWE didn't show you, if that makes sense. Because she done this like top rope brain buster thing onto Tessa Blanchard. It was, oh, it, it was incredible. It really, really was incredible. And it goes to show the strength and depth of the knockouts division that TNA have. But it was such a good competitive match. And Tessa Blanchard won. I don't think there was any, and this is not being disrespectful to Leia Ling Yi. Tessa Blanchard was always going to win this match, in my opinion. I never felt, even during the match, I never felt that my mind was going to be changed. Despite that, Leia looked great in defeat. And, like I keep saying, there is no doubt as how controversial Tessa Blanchard is when she gets in those ropes. There is no doubt how great she is. What I will say about Leia Ling Yi was it was a great, she shone in this match. It was a brilliant knockouts match. I loved it, and I hope that she gets a program going forward. I need to get her to have more chances to shine because I believe that she's probably just as talented as Tessa Blanchard between those ropes. She's a top knockout in that division. And hopefully now we're going to get to see Leia Ling Yi going forward and a lot more. As I said, put her in a program with someone, get her going in that knockouts division because she's that damn good. She's brilliant. And this is sometimes where, WWE don't get the chance to showcase them. So they come here and other companies and you get to see them shine. And we need to see Leia Ling Yi shine. And TNA is a great place to do it. And if that match was anything to go by, we're going to have a lot of fun with Leah Lingley. But Tessa Blanchard does indeed pick up the victory in this one and will go on. And who knows what's next? I guess we'll just have to wait for Impact this coming Thursday on the TNA Plus app. They did cut quickly to Jeff Hardy. He's got a ladder match with Moose for the X Division Championship a little bit later on, and he was confident, which he should be. He was, it was quite weird. Jeff Hardy was probably the favourite going into that match, just because of his experience in ladder matches. It was kind of his thing. Um, Nick Nemeth they also cut to Nick Nemeth. He expresses his excitement about coming back. Elijah said they're walking into war. They were just doing a big hype for those two matches, which was great. I enjoyed it. Um, you know, Leon Slater in the main event at TNA. And just out of interest, if any of you Brit Breast fans, we know we love man like Darius, right? We really do. His match from Explosion is now available onto TNA. So go and see it. Go and see the Lyrical Dragon in action on TNA. And who knows, that could be something that we see a lot more of going forward. First NXT involvement now. The Rascals, Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, teaming with Ace Austin to take on Wesley, Tyson Dubois, and Tyreek from NXT. Obviously, Wesley and the Rascals having their, they're carrying on their beef, so to speak. Obviously, Wesley dropped them like a bad habit earlier on. This was great. This was really, really good. Just a quick one. It was the Rascals and Ace Austin picking up the victory, corkscrew driver onto Wesley for the win. I will say this: it was a really fun 6-person tag. Ace Austin and the Rascals work well together, and they do complement each other well. I just kind of feel like right now, with obviously the stuff with Chris Bay, Ace Austin needs to kind of find a bit of direction, because I think at the moment it's kind of like, because of what happened, and it's understandable. You're kind of like, what do we do with him? And I feel like he's been throwing here, throwing there, just kind of put in things. Ace Austin's a tremendous, tremendous talent. So again, when I say about working a program with somebody, they need to find direction for Ace Austin and give him something, because he's too good to be left out. But I don't want to keep seeing him in tag matches just for the sake of having him in a tag match. That's my view on it. But look, this was also one of the best things about this partnership between WWE and TNA. These guys, Dupois and Tyson getting those reps in against some veterans as well. Obviously, Wentz scoring the pin over Wesley kind of indicates that could be finished now, and perhaps we could move on to something else. But for me, really fun 6-man tag. Really enjoyed it. Takeaways from it: want to see direction for Ace Austin going forward in TNA. He needs something, to get his teeth into on his own. Definitely on his own. Because he's a great, great talent. I've witnessed him live myself over at Slam Masters. Great, great talent. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if that is the blow off to the Rascals and Wesley's feud as well. Macklin was next against Kazarian. Eric Young was on commentary. Yeah, you know where that's going straight away, or do you? Interesting one on this. It was solid, this match. Really solid, hard hitting match between the two. Macklin picks up the win with a KIA, but it was due to the fact that Eric Young hit Kazarian with the brass knuckles, which is like, is Eric Young trying to get in Macklin's head here? I'm interested to see how that works between the two, to see if something, transpires with Eric Young and Macklin. Does he rejoin Eric Young in the Northern Armory? Does Eric Young stab him in the back and they come to blows? I don't know. But the story that they've told on TNA between these two is brilliant. I've loved it. I really, really have loved it. There was like a thing about Macklin was trusting Eric Young, and then Eric Young turned on Josh Alexander with the Northern Armory, and then Macklin was like trying to, saying, well, I trusted you, and there and now this, and now this. It kind of, I'm not quite sure how it's going to transpire, but it should be a fun, that this has been a fun feud between these two. I feel as if it's a feud. I feel as if it's Eric Young trying to coax Macklin in, and then I don't think it's going to work, and then we're going to have a big blow-off match between the two. later down the line. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'd love the story of this. I'd love what they've done with Kazarian. I will say that it's kind of felt like ages since he won that Call Your Shot gauntlet. And I feel as if they was like he was getting some wins here or there, but there's never strung a streak together where you think, now's the time, to be a believable contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, it could be one of those ones where, and you've seen it in wrestling in the past, where they lose a lot and then they and then they cash that shot in and then they win and then it's it's to the right off to the races with Kazarian. Will he be successful? Because in my opinion, excuse me, morning coffee time. In my opinion, I don't think Kazarian. I don't think they'll put the title on Kazarian. I don't think they need to. When you look at people that are in line for championship opportunities in TNA, there's so much talent there right now. We'll get into a couple of them in a minute. They're going to be having a match shortly, and we'll get into that. And I don't think he needs it. I think that he should foul the cash in. Joe Hendry on Joe Hendry, yeah, foul it on Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry will go on and face somebody else later on. And he will eventually lose that title. It's just depending who to. There's a lot of contenders right now in that division. And we'll get into that in a minute. But for me, if Kazarian's going to be successful, he needs to start getting some big wins. Big wins. Not just a couple here and there. And then, that's it. He needs a couple of big wins. But he didn't win at Sacrifice. Macklin got the victory and moves on to see what's next with him and Eric Young. Back to knockouts action, knockouts tag team championships action. It was a handicap match. Called Spitfire, Daniel and Joni Fret, the Elegances, and the personal concierge George the Iceman. Yeah, you should have seen what he was wearing, guys. Look, I've been saying for a while now. I think ever since they started together, I think it may have been or a week or two later, I was saying I can see the Elegances winning the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. And they had a couple of opportunities where you're like, this is it, this is it, this is it. They weren't successful until Sacrifice. They did indeed get the job done. It was a double stomp for the win on this. The Elegances. And then I feel as if it's deserved. I really do. People may hate it, the fact that they won. I feel as if it was the right time. I really do. Ash has been great since she's come in from WWE. It's like I've said before about the development of character, finding someone to suit, constant TV time, the willingness that she has put in to learn her craft and get better and better and better and showcase what she can do. It's finally paid dividends with Heather as well by her side. And I just feel, yeah, like it was time, and it really was time. It was a little bit of the comedy side of this match. There was a bit of comedy to it with the concierge, being in it. So that was a little bit. I felt as if it was a little bit, you know, took the shine off the win a little bit, if anything else. But nevertheless, I feel as if the victory was just deserved. However, it's looking like people from NXT want those knockouts tag team championships because we saw Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend appear on the stage after that match. Now, I also know that they weren't the only ones. There was another team at the tapings last night from NXT that made their presence known. I'm assuming they're going after the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. I will not spoil it for you. The only way to find out is to get that TNA Plus app, guys. Get it and watch Impact because trust me, you're missing out on some great action. And speaking of great action, Mustafa Ali versus Mike Santana over delivered. I mean, I was expecting big things because these two have been fantastic. Santana has been on a roll of his career since coming into TNA. Ali had a great run last year. He left, he's come back, and he's just started where he left off, really. And these two are the pinnacle of right now of TNA. Really, really was. I mean, I will go as far as saying, barring the cage match, I don't know, was it as good as the ladder match? This was probably like without gimmicks involved. So when it went just straight up wrestling, this was the match at night. They both brought it big time here. You know, as I said, Santana has been kind of built up as the face, potentially the face of TNA going forward, and he was really strong. He done this, he reversed something into a cutter on the outside of the ring. It was sensational, absolutely sensational. And you know, and Ali coming back into it, as I said, picking up where he's left off. These two could be definitely challenging for world championships in TNA. It was such a great match. However, there was a little bit of shenanigans involved at the end. Ali, obviously the good hands get involved. Tasha Steelz get involved, and Ali rolls up Santana while holding the ropes for the victory. So a bit of a tainted victory. And after that as well, play puts a pint of beer down in the ring for Santana. Now, those of you that don't know, Santana battled with alcoholism. He is alcohol free now, from for want of a better phrase, which is great. And put that in the ring afterwards. So for me, this isn't over, but I could watch these two time and time again without any issues. They were great. And to see, you can see why there's a lot of belief in Santana. I mean, to be honest, there's never been any argument from me, but if you were thinking, if you're a bit sort of wondering why, watch this match. You can see what Santana is all about, and Ali is just as good in there as well. I don't think it's over between those two yet. Certainly doesn't seem that way. But what a great match for Sacrifice. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant match. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Which now brings us to even more knockouts. See, look, there was three knockouts matches on this card. Three women's matches on the card. I want to make a point of this. When you want your women's wrestling to shine and to be a forefront of your company, and you big the women up, and then they're in 90-second promos, they're in a couple of squash matches on a show here and there. Three knockouts matches on this card got given a lot of time, showcase their skills, and you see it week in, week out on TNA. So, you know, no doubt they take their knockouts division very seriously. And the championship match between Masha Slamovich and Cora Jade was brilliant. It was a solid match between these two. Really, really good win for Masha Slamovich, by the way. There was, you know, did I think that I felt as if there was enough intrigue in this to make me think that Cora Jade could walk out with the championship. I feel as if there was a sometimes with the NXT stuff, you kind of think, I don't quite think it's going to happen. You know, I felt there was enough intrigue in this that it could have happened. And I do think eventually one of the others going to walk out with the other one's championship. I really do think that. And I think it's going to happen soon. But not this one. Masha Slamovich pins Cora Jade with a power driver. Good to see Cora Jade back in the ring, actually, after a scary concussion issue the last NXT show. So there was, I don't know if there was any, you know, potential that she may have missed it. I'm not sure. But really, really strong knockouts title match. Loved what I saw there. And, you know, Tessa Blanchard wants the shot, but she's going to have to keep competing and winning matches to get it. As I say earlier on, Lea Ling Yi gave her a great match. I feel as if Tessa will get to, like, I feel as if we're still a bit away from that yet. I think Slammiversary, maybe Bound for Glory would seem a logical bet. Sorry if the sun is on the screen right now. It's early morning, the sun is out, it's cold, but yeah, apologies if you're getting any glare from the sun during this. But anyway, solid match. Masha Slamovich, Tessa Blanchard definitely on collision course. It's just a matter of when they collide, and I'm looking forward to it when they do. X Division Championship match now. Jeff Hardy and Moose. Now, like I said before, Jeff Hardy was definitely the favourite going into this match. Not because he's the champion, but just because of the experience factor. You know, the real experience factor of this we puts Jeff Hardy as a favourite, or would put Jeff Hardy as favourite. However, Moose is a man, he can do. There's nothing that he can't do Moose. There really isn't. He had a great list match with Obafembi recently on NXT. He can wrestle in a variety of different ways. So, there was, so you got to really credit Moose for his role in this. And there was some pretty nasty bumps in this one. There was a twist of fate off the ladder. There was a swanton bomb through a table. Jeff flying around like it's 2008 again. Crazy times. I really do apologize for this sun. I think I've managed to get it a little bit. I may have to switch my light on just to get this last bit done. Don't want to rush this, but I'm just mindful that the sun is making it very, very difficult right now for me on this episode. So, um, really good match. Lots of different, there was kendo sticks. Alicia Edwards gets involved in this as well. But Moose sent Hardy for a table with a shocking spear. Really dodgy landing it looked on that one, but he unhooked the title, and Moose picks up potentially a victory that. Hey, here we go. The curtain is closed and we're back. Moose picked up somewhat of an underdog victory, as I said, given the circumstances, you know, given where the championship, given where the experience, sorry, of Jeff Hardy is on ladder matches. As I said, you would have put him as the underdog. So Moose picking up a big, big win here, and this was definitely second best match of the night for me behind the ladder match. As I said, Jeff Hardy can still go, and I feel as if he thrives on matches like this. I don't know why. He just does. Moose definitely held his own, like I said before. He can do anything at the moment. They both use weapons in this to add to that chaotic nature of the match. I did feel that Swanton was scary on the outside. Yeah, it was a rough landing. If you want to see it, get the TNA Plus app. It was a scary landing for Jeff Hardy on that Swanton bomb. But, it's interesting, though, because I was thinking about this the other day. I was just saying about championship opportunities and whatnot. There was always option C, right? Option C was he drops that championship and gets another world title opportunity. And I wonder whether that's where Moose is thinking. Will he eventually get enough victories to be able to cash in option C and pick up and go for the championship that way? Austin Aries done it. I know there's been a few others that have done it. Is that a potential thing that Moose can do in the future to get a championship opportunity? Could be done. Could be. We'll see. We'll absolutely see. But this was crazy. But kudos to Moose in this. I mean, look, kudos to Jeff Hardy as well. He's still brilliant. But Moose held his own in this. And like I said, he can literally wrestle and do anything and do it really, really well. So congratulations to Moose for holding on to that X Division Championship. Now, I did say it didn't feel like it was over between Mike Santana and Ali. And it was just that. Santana was backstage and approaches Santino Marella, making it clear that he wants a rematch. Santino makes the rematch, but he does make it where Tasha Steelz and the Good Hands will be barred from ringside. Interesting. There was another Penthouse episode as well during this with AJ Francis and that, and they were talking about Octagon and on Laredo. Nothing really going on there, to be honest with you. There was a brawl between them and it got broken up, so a bit of a carry on. And that was kind of like the let's bring you back down, ready for what was coming, which was effectively Lethal Lockdown. That's really how it went. So we had that match, as I said before, on TNA where Leon Slater lost, and it gave the system the advantage going into this cage match. But this was it was funny. Elijah come into this on a horse. Who wants to ride with Elijah? It was fucking nuts. It was nuts. But Elijah was in it from the start, as was Eddie Edwards. So they were in this from the very, very start, which was great. It was great to see Elijah get a great outing in this, but it was one of those ones where once everyone got in the ring, it was there was action, and there was always the handicap action. As you watch War Games, you see this where it always happens that 2-on-1 for a bit. The other guy comes in, bundle of fire, blah, 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 blah. They start squaring off, and then the third one comes in, and then it's a bit more of a, it went on like that, as it normally does. And it goes crazy once everyone hits this in. But I will say one thing, and I know I big Leon Slater up every single week on this show. This was the match that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Leon Slater deserves to be in the main event of TNA wrestling. He was absolutely brilliant. As he done that 450 splash off the cage onto everyone. It went and unlike another show that I saw, he didn't miss his target twice. Um, sorry, Tiffy, but you did. But yeah, crazy. This was brilliant. Loved it, loved it, loved it. It was just everyone in this match put their. I mean, the Colognes were great as well. I saw them on NWA recently. They were really good. And it was just a typical ending, the face with obviously the faces win, Joe Hendry's team winning. It was like the danger zone, a standing ovation, the twist of fate, and then Matt Hardy hit a second twist of fate onto a chair on JDC for the victory on this. And it was kind of like you kind of knew that was it was one of those face endings that when the faces win, they generally hit all their finishes in one, and that was exactly it. Now, the interesting bit here, the celebration was going on. A lot of the a lot of Leon, I think Leon, Elijah, and Joe had left the ring, had left the cage at this point, sorry. And then Ryan Nemeth was locking the cage. I was like, what's he doing? What's going on? And with that, Nick Nemeth, in the shocking turn, like I said, Nick Nemeth drops Matt Hardy with a danger zone. They gang up on Hardy. They throw him into the steel. They hit it. As the guys are trying to climb in the ring, Ryan smashing the side of the chair. And they leave Hardy a bloody mess as the show goes off the air. Hannifan and Ray Wilder going ballistic on commentary, which added to the emotion of that moment. But Ryan and I didn't expect that because I was expecting Nick to be like, "What are you doing? You've used my title shot. You've done all of this. Like, what's going on?" And I expected Nick and Ryan. I was on this show saying I can see a feud coming between Nick and Ryan Nemeth, but no, it was absolutely not. It was absolutely not. And the heel turn at the end is an interesting way. What's going to happen? I mean, Nick was always a tweener, I would say, in TNA, but did I expect that at the end? No, I did not. And it was an interesting way to close Sacrifice. And now you wonder what has going to happen this coming Thursday on Impact Wrestling from El Paso, Texas, which we will find out if you download the TNA Plus app. Get it downloaded, get it subscribed, get that big discount that they're offering right now on the championship package. Make sure you do that, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Sacrifice review on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Don't forget to check us out at HTT Buckle on X, at HTT Buckle on YouTube, where you can see all the interviews with the TNA talent. Just go to the special interview playlist and you will see talents like Moose, like Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers as well. Like Masha Slamovich. Yeah. Like Rosemary as well. She's been on the show. Go and check that out as long as all of ours as we approach 1,000 pieces of content. Are we ridiculously sad? Yes. Are we committed? Yes. Will we keep doing show after show after show after show? Yes. Coming up this week on the show as well, we're going to, what is coming up this week on the show? Oh, Independent Showcase with Jason Jordan is on the show with Jason Joshua on the show this coming week. We talked to the guys at Atomic Pro Wrestling who are just about to celebrate 2 years as an independent show with a birthday celebration coming up in the 2nd of April, I believe, or April, I believe. That is coming up this week. Still to come, still to be interviewed on the show. Oh, big thanks to Paul Nicholson, by the way, the Asset, former professional dart player Paul Nicholson, who we recorded a really fun top 10 with you. That's coming at you in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to be recording another top 10 with referee Katie Crosby with the WWE's with the wrestling's top oh my god moments, which yes, I've had to change since something happened a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so just keep it locked on the channel, keep it locked on our social media platforms. There is so much stuff to go. Get your tickets to Ignite Wrestling 96 Eventbrite for the last stand on the 18th of May. Our turnbuckle champion Mark True returns from Noah, returns to Ignite, and defends against number one contender Aluna on that. Also on that card, Tommy Kyle defends the Ignite Wrestling Championship against a debuting Joe Kessler. Tickets are limited already. 96 Eventbrite. Type in Ignite Wrestle Pro last stand. You will get your tickets there. Buckle up in September. Buckle up for Buckle Up, guys. Big names have been booked. That I can guarantee you. I can't tell you who because I'm fond of my genitalia. But big names have been booked for that show. That I promise you. So get those tickets will go on sale in July. There'll be lots of promotion ahead of that event. Buckle Up Free, the trilogy, the final one with us and Ignite together as a team promoting that event. So just get your tickets for that. We'll be back tomorrow with an AEW recap with me and Gary Joe, maybe Dave if he's available, but me and Gary Joe will be back tomorrow doing a review of AEW. But until then, everybody, you've crossed the line with TNA. Now stay safe.